Joke about a bed. Peter goes to a doctor. Doctor, I have a problem, he says. When I sleep in my bed, I think that there is somebody under my bed. I look under my bed and I think there is somebody on my bed. On, under. I think that I am crazy. The doctor thinks for 1 minute. Then he says, come to me for 2 years. Come here 3 times in a week and I will help you. How much will I pay? Peter asks. $100 for a visit, the doctor says. Peter says, I will think about it. Peter never comes back. After 2 weeks, he meets the doctor on the street. Why didn't you come to visit me? The doctor asks. $100 for 1 visit. It is expensive for me. A barman helped me for $10. The doctor doesn't understand. What did he do with you? He told me to cut the legs of the bed. An old dog. A man has a big garden around his house. An old dog comes to his garden. The dog looks at the man and then lies down next to him. When the man stands up and walks to the house, the dog walks behind him. When they are inside, the dog jumps on the sofa, closes his eyes and sleeps for 1 hour. Then he wakes up and walks to the door. The man lets the dog out. The next day the dog comes again. He jumps on the sofa and sleeps for 1 hour. This is happening every day for 3 weeks. The man wants to know why the dog comes to his house. He writes on a piece of paper these words, every afternoon your dog comes to my house and sleeps for 1 hour on my sofa. Then the man puts this piece of paper on his collar. The next day the dog comes with a different piece of paper on his collar. It says, he lives in a home with 4 children. He needs some quiet place to relax. Can I come with him tomorrow? Frying pan. A man is reading his newspaper when his wife walks up to him and hits him on the back of the head with a frying pan. He says, why do you hit me? There was a piece of paper in your pocket with the words, Betty Sue, on it. He says, honey, Betty Sue is the name of the horse which I want to buy. The wife doesn't say anything. 3 days later he is reading his newspaper again. His wife comes to him and hits him with a frying pan again. He says, why do you hit me again? She says, your horse is on the phone. A sad man. A sad man walks into a bar, and the barman asks him what the problem is. My life is horrible, the man says. Every night, I play a game of chess with my wife, and every night she beats me. Well, why don't you stop playing chess? The barman asks. I love the game, the man says, I'm a genius. I never lose. The barman doesn't understand. But you say that your wife always beats you. Well, the man says, she doesn't like to lose. Photographer. A photographer for a national magazine wants to take pictures of a great forest fire. His boss tells him that a small plane will wait for him at the airport. The plane will fly him over the fire. The photographer comes to the airport only an hour before sunset. A small airplane is waiting there. He jumps in with his camera and shouts, "Go!" The nervous man who is sitting in the pilot's cabin starts the plane and soon they're in the air. There is a strong wind and the plane is making strange moves. "Fly over the north side of the fire," says the photographer, and go very low. Why? Asks the nervous pilot. Because I will take pictures, shouts the photographer. I'm a photographer, and photographers take pictures. The pilot says, you are not the flight instructor. The sweet grandmother. The following can be read out by one person, or acted out by two, quite funny and true sometimes. A sweet grandmother telephoned Joseph's hospital. She timidly asked, is it possible to speak to someone who can tell me how a patient is doing? Operator, I'll be glad to help, dear, what's the name and room number of the patient? Grandmother, Norma Findlay, room 302. Operator, let me put you on hold while I check with the nurses station for that room. After a few minutes the operator returned to the phone. Operator, I have good news, her nurse just told me that Norma is doing well. Her blood pressure is fine, her blood test just came back normal and her physician Dr. Cohen has scheduled her to be discharged tomorrow. Grandmother, thank you, that's wonderful. I was so worried. God bless you for the good news. Operator, you're more than welcome. Is Norma your daughter? Grandmother, no, I'm Norma Findlay in room 302 and no one tells me anything. Thanks again.